All right, guys, so the Atlas trading crew got caught up today. This is really big, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I will explain further in this video. So basically on FinTwit, there were these guys that were promoting penny stocks, and they were making money off it, and they made somewhere upwards of 9 figures, right? We're talking over $100 million. So there was an investigation that opened up today with the SEC with this collective group of individuals. So we're going to break down the significance of this news in today's video and talk about how we can avoid things like this in the future and things to look out for to protect your own capital. Before I get started, baby, hit that like and hit that subscribe. Let's jump right into the details. So quickly breaking this down, members of the Atlas Trading indicted for 114 million securities fraud scheme orchestrated through social media. So the SEC is coming after these guys. This is pretty damn serious. These guys have made tons of money in a very short amount of time, so it looks like it's catching up to them now. Each defendant faces a maximum sentence of 25 years in federal prison. Constantine, aka Zack Morris, will face an additional charge for up to 10 years. Now Zack Morris, they're kind of looking at him as more the orchestrator of this whole event here. Now, it wasn't just him, it was a bunch of guys, and honestly, me personally, I followed this whole crew along the way. Now, it's unfortunate that they were committing unlawful acts, and it's very controversial. If you guys followed them though, you know, they were pretty cool, right? They were cool to follow. They were killing it. It seemed like they were making all this money, you know, flexing, getting after it. But hey, you know what? It is what it is. They broke the law. Potentially, they're at least going to trial for it, so we'll see what comes up with that. Now, here's the infamous Zack Morris. Now, this guy, again, I'm not gonna praise him, but he seems pretty funny. And you know, when you follow him, he seemed like a pretty wholesome guy, but hey, you know, some people, they push the limits, right? We've seen this before, even with, like, I know there was a big fishing scandal, right, a couple months ago where guys were stuffing up fish and, you know, just cheating their way through the system here. So again, I'm never going to praise unlawful acts, and there's two sides to every story, and I'm not going to sit here and act like I know the whole situation, but I'm just going to give you guys the facts of what's going on. But here's Zack Morris. Here's his infamous page here. Again, I mean, this guy, you know, he's just killing it, right? He's traveled the world with all this money he made. He's killing it. He's just a goon, man. But it is unfortunate that people you may look up to one day end up getting caught with some kind of scandal in this, that, and the third. Now, diving back into the details, you can see how Twitter is pretty lit up about this. I mean, there's warrants going out. I don't know how people get this information, by the way, but you know, there's warrants out for these guys. Look at this. I mean, someone hashtag Atlas Trading, right? Cops are showing up. This is pretty damn serious, and here's that whole entire crew here. So hey, man, lived life pretty good for a little bit, but you know, things always catch up to you if it's unlawful. At the end of the day, right? It's that whole karma philosophy here. And then diving even further, right, we have some more details here. Again, I don't know how people get this crap. You can see right here, right, it highlights, I mean, how serious this is. Here's literally the paperwork for it. SEC plaintiff versus, right, this whole group. So, you know, you have Zack Morris, you have PJ Matlock, Tommy Coops, Mystic Mac, Hugh Henney, Laidback, Deity of Dips, and Ultra Calls, okay, the stock sniper. So again, these guys, a lot of people looked up to them, but the problem is a lot of people trusted them because of that. So they were essentially pumping stocks, right? Here's kind of what happened. They would basically buy into a stock, a lot of like IPOs, especially these low float penny stocks. They would buy in like super early, then alert their group talking about, hey, I'm in this now. As soon as that whole group kind of flocks and the price sees a quick pump, they sell, and they won't even tell you that they're selling. Now, the problem with this, one, of course, it's manipulation and it's illegal. But the other thing is, too, is that there's so much evidence on this. It's very unfortunate. If you dive into the details of this, there's actually conversations with that group talking about like, hey, man, we're basically robbing people for their money and all this stuff. I mean, it's terrible. I mean, look at this. And even their Discord voice chats that they believed were private but were being recorded. So, you know, defendants, right? Defendants suffered for this. They were in this Discord believing in these guys. It was all like pre-recorded chats. Now, there's also some evidence here, right? So you had Knight here saying, get caught, we're fucking robbing idiots of their money. Guys, that is terrible. My goodness gracious. And then Tommy Cooperman, right? Coops. It's so funny because I can see the blank. I can see the timeline of these. Like, I get it. The ticker. I sent it to Dan, Knight. I know Dan's on voice. Dan tells you guys, I see it go up more. Then I send it to Gary. I see it go up way more. My other thing is like, all right, if we lose on one of these, we've won like 100. So it's crazy, man. This is very unfortunate. A lot of people lost money because of this, but justice was served, or it may be getting served here as well. And just going back to Zack Morris real quick, I mean, look at the things he's going to probably end up losing, right? They're looking to basically forfeit all of his property. So the SEC are really coming after these guys, as they probably should if they did commit these acts. right? Look at all these properties he had. They're just gonna scoop them up. Here's actually one of them here. So I mean, these guys were living pretty damn good, guys. They made over $100 million in a short amount of time collectively. So this is a very big deal. I expect this to probably catch a lot more steam here in the near future. It is what it is. Again, not looking to praise these guys. I'm not on either side of the fence here. I'm always for what the right thing is, okay? I'm always for justice. Now, again, I'm trying not to give you bias, but I did follow this entire crew personally, right? Following Zack Morris. And it's unfortunate because outside of these allegations, they seem like pretty cool guys. I mean, but hey, you know, it's hard, right? Sometimes the devil's hiding underneath. You just never know with some people. So always be careful out there, and that's going to lead me into my next point here. So guys, always be very careful on the things you see on the internet, right? Just typical common sense. If people are buying into a stock, you see people, you know, hyping up a stock or anything like that, make sure you do your own due diligence, because you don't know anything about this. You're just looking at the opinions of others and you're buying into something. Guys, this is your hard-earned money. Keep it safe. You don't know what's going on with it, so why would you risk it? And that's a lot of the problem with this too, is because these guys, right, it was kind of self-fulfilling prophecy. They would show these results, right? They'd be like, hey, I told you, I called it, this thing pumped up 200%, I told you. So they seemed like they were right all the time, and it ended up becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy, because essentially, I mean, I guess they were right, but they were making money off of that, and then people would believe it even more so, and then follow them even more because of that. And if you guys really want to get into stock trading, just make sure you know what you're doing. It's a very risky activity. So how valid is it? Just because, again, even if someone's right all the time, doesn't mean you have to always follow them to the T. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video here. This is a pretty crazy event here. You know, as you followed these guys, you always kind of speculated that this might catch up to them someday, or it's just unbelievable how they'd be pumping stuff and nothing would come out of it. Hey, sometimes people get caught up in their acts, and we'll see the result of this, and I'm sure there'll be more to follow. So let me know, guys, if you found this content pretty interesting. Just trying to mix it up here on the YouTube channel, but for sure, make sure you leave me a like, baby, and a follow as well. I'll catch you guys in the next video.